everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sari and you are watching my knitting podcast videos. And in today's episode I'm going to show you what I've been knitting lately and some new patterns that I have released since the previous episode that I filmed. I think it was in the beginning of July when I filmed my previous episode. I was about to go to Jyväskylä Knit Festival, and after that I was traveling to a wedding wool festival, wedding wool weekend actually, in Berlin, and everything that is already behind me. I've already had my summer holiday, so immediately after we came back from wedding wool weekend or from Berlin, we first rented a little summer house here in Helsinki for a few nights, and it was so nice to be there. And after that we took the ferry over from Helsinki to Stockholm, and we stayed there for a couple of nights, and after that me and my son continued. My husband went from Stockholm back to Helsinki, and my son and I went to Copenhagen for a few days with the train, and then we took the same route back. And yeah, after we came home from Copenhagen, I was home for like one day, and then we had rented an Airbnb summer cottage for another week. So that was my summer holiday. I wasn't really at home almost at all, more like going from places to places, from summer holidays, summer cabins to Stockholm, to Copenhagen, to summer cabin. But yeah, it was really fun. I think, especially since I work from home, I think it's really important for me to leave home when I'm on holiday, so I can really like get away from the work. And it was really lovely holiday. But now it's already the 20th of August, and I don't know where August flew by so quickly. I didn't even realize what happened, but suddenly it's almost the end of August, and we are at the end of the summer here in Finland. I actually realized that I saw the first reddish leaves in the maple trees today. I'm so not ready for autumn yet. I'm really like a summer person. I love summer, so I'm just quite not yet ready to let go of the summer just yet. But yeah, that's what has been happening in my life since the last video that I filmed, and today I wanted to show you what I've been knitting during that time. I remember I showed you this one in my previous video, and I was just about to release the pattern. So this is the Rococo top that you can see here. This is the original pink version that I first knitted. It looks like this. So it has like this lace pattern both on the front and also on the back. But I decided to make the bubbles. As you can see, there are like these little bubbles in the pattern. So I decided to make them on the front, but I left them out on the back, so the back is not totally identical. So the pattern has options. So if you want to make the bubble version or the bubble-less version, or make kind of like both, so bubbles on the front and leave them out on the back. So the pattern has options for both of them. And I released this pattern in mid-July, and I've been wearing mine a lot. So I think it's really nice. It's kind of like a really nice pop of color, and I've been really enjoying wearing it with like otherwise a neutral outfit. I think it looks really nice with neutrals, and it kind of like gives that really like fun touch to my wardrobe. And in Helsinki we have like I think it's always the second weekend in August, we have like this really nice urban festival called Flow Festival with a lot of music artists, art and so on. So I wore this to the Flow Festival this year. On the first day that I went, I had on my neon colored Kuutar top, and I paired it with like this sequin, cold colored sequin pants. And on the second day that I went, I decided to wear this, and I had like these really nice Marimekko pants to go with it. And in my previous video that I filmed, I was talking about making this one in a more neutral color as well, because this color is so bright that it's really hard to photograph. When I tried taking photos of it, it only looks like really pink, so kind of like burns the film, so to say. We don't have film anymore, so it's like kind of old-fashioned way to say it, but it only looks pink. It looks loses all the contrast, so you don't really see the pattern at all, so it's really hard to photograph. And like I was said many times, especially with really bright colors, I think some people find it harder to imagine what it looks like in a more neutral on another color if the original sample is really bright. So people get stuck that it's the pink top instead of seeing the pattern itself. So that's why I often like to make my samples in neutral colors, so it's easier to see all the details and it's easier to imagine. For example, this is my second Rococo top, so if you see this one, then it's easier to imagine how it looks like if it's yellow or if it's blue or if it's gray or so on, rather than trying to imagine how this looks like when it's white. So in my previous video I was thinking about options for my second top. I had quite a few options, but then I went to Jyväskylä Knit Festival and I saw this yarn. So this is a Linnea light from a Finnish dyer called Kässäkerho Pom Pom. I will write all the yarn names and colorway names and pattern names below this video, as I usually always do, so you can easily check them out in the description section below this video, so you can see all the yarn names, all the pattern names that I mention. Especially I know with Finnish words it's really hard to grasp what did she say. Kässäkerho Pom Pom is a really long and quite hard word, so I will write everything below this video. So this is their Linnea light yarn, which is a wool and a linen blend fingering weight, and I used the undyed colorway called Dyyni, meaning dune. So here you can see how it looks like, and the same thing, I made the bubbles here on the front, but I left them out in the back. So this is the same, exactly same design as this one, but you can see how different it looks when you change the color. And I've been wearing this one a lot. I think it looks really nice with I've been wearing it with this like linen shirt over it, so I think I will wear it quite long into the autumn. So kind of like really nice layering piece. It has like this kind of like silk lace camisole feeling to it. I think it looks super nice. So this pattern is now available on Ravelry and also in my Shopify shop. I set up that one as well this summer, and I'm constantly trying to add more patterns to it. So you can also use that if you don't use Ravelry. And I'm trying to get my blog back. So if you have been following me from like way back a long time ago, like even before I became a knitwear designer, I first had a blog, and I used to write there about everything that I knitted. And Then started to share my first patterns in the blog, and I also, because I love to cook, I love to bake, I used to share some like recipes and make write about books that I read and so on. But ever since Instagram came, I think blogs, like popularity of the blogs went down, and also I had my baby back then and everything was so hectic, so I kind of like gave it up. But I've been really wanting to get back to blogging for a long time now, so yeah, I hope I can bring that back. And since I started the Shopify shop, there's also the possibility to add a blog, so that's something that I'm planning to do this autumn. So I just have to kind of like get out of my brother's blog. I think I'm kind of like afraid because I have to make the very first post, and I have so many ideas and kind of like expectations about the blog, so I think I'm kind of like self-sabotaging myself at this very moment about the blog. I should just go ahead and start that, but for some reason I'm really self-conscious about starting it again. But yeah, that's something that I'm really looking forward to. It's something that I have been missing, because on Instagram it's really hard to like chronicle things. So if you want to make a series about how a sweater came to be, where the inspiration came from, everything on Instagram is so fragmented, so it's really hard to go back and look through things, and I think that's something that is easier if you have a blog. So yeah, but as soon as I release it or re-release my blog, you will be the first to know, so I will tell you more about that. But anyway, this is the Rococo top, and it's available on Ravelry at the moment. Another thing that I've been making in the summer, I showed this one to you already in a previous episode, but I think I had only just started making it, and in the beginning I was going to make it into a short sleeved kind of like summer t-shirt cardigan. So this is the Kuutar wrap cardigan that I made. I actually just finished knitting it last night, so I haven't blocked it yet, so it still needs a blocking. But yeah, I started to work on it already in the beginning of summer, but the pattern writing of this one hasn't been the easiest, and I wanted to keep writing the pattern as I worked on it, and then during my summer holiday when we were traveling and I was all the time with my kid, I didn't have like the mental capacity, the headspace to start writing a pattern like that. And if you're wondering about the weird noise that you can hear in the background, it's my cat Luna, who is trying to fit herself into a box that I have here in my office. So sorry about the extra noise at the moment. But I will go and put this on, and then I will show you how it looks like, so you can see it on me. So here you can see me wearing the wrap cardigan, and I started working on it. So I started at the back neck, and it's first worked until the armholes on the back. Then I picked up stitches along the shoulders and worked the fronts until the armholes, and then joined everything together to work the rest of the body. and it has these lace panels on both fronts, and it has the same lace that I used for my Kuutar pullover and all the Kuutar patterns. So there are the Kuutar pullover, cardigan, top, t-shirt, beret and socks already. It's growing, the family is growing. So this is the same lace, Japanese lace pattern, and yeah, super happy about it. I made kind of like these round arm holes, and then with short rows shaped the caps, sleeve caps. So this is how it looks like, and the yarn that I used for this was knitting for Olive's pure, oh not pure silk, I always use pure silk, so I'm saying pure silk, but it's knitting for Olive's Merino and their soft silk mohair, and they are both in the colorway Putty. So it's a really nice kind of like off-white, bit on like warm gray side, so super nice. And I just finished writing the pattern, and I will be calling for test knitters for this, I think maybe tomorrow already. So hoping for the pattern to come out maybe in September. So I was saying that I was first intending it to have short sleeves, but since it's already August, kind of like closer to the end of the August, so I decided to make a long sleeved cardigan instead. And like I said, it's still totally unblocked, so all this will smooth down after blocking. But yeah, this is how it looks like. So it has these fronts, and I made an I-cord belt for the closure. Super happy about this. So another thing that I have finished making ever since I talked to you the last time is the Vivienne tee. I think I already had it on my needles in the last episode that I filmed, but in case I didn't show this to you earlier, here it is. So this is the Vivienne tee, and I just released the pattern a few days ago. So if you want to have the Vivienne tee with 25% discount, we'll have a special code for you. So if you use the code Vivienne at Ravelry checkout or in my Shopify shop, then you will get that pattern with 25% discount. So use the code Vivienne for the discount, and the discount is valid until the end of the month, so the 31st of August in 2023. So this is the Vivienne tee, and it's also worked from top down, and I made it in this really nice cable pattern. So it has like this honeycomb cable here in the middle, and then some other cables on the sides, and I also added some moss stitch for the sides, and also has the cable pattern on the sleeves. So it has short sleeves, and here you can see the back. So this is how the back looks like, and super happy with this. So for this one I used Wooldreamers, and this is the Sauna base, and it's fingering weight, it's 50% merino and manchega wool and 50% cotton, and it has really nice kind of like tweedy texture. So it's a mixture of like one-dyed gray, white with a bit of blue, and it has also like this very small speckles of like pink purple color in it. So it's super nice, and I really liked knitting with it. So it's really nice, airy, and the fabric is really soft, so I'm super happy with it. I think the stitch definition is also really good, so you can see all the cables really well, so I think it's really good for textured knits. So like I said, this pattern is also now available on Ravelry and in my Shopify shop, and if you use the code Vivienne before the end of the month, you will get a 25% discount for it. So looks like this, and yeah, I'm planning to make this also into a long sleeved version. I didn't have anything in my stash at the moment that I could use, but I was thinking maybe the Rerum Naturals Ulse. It's more of like sport weight yarn, whereas this is fingering weight yarn, but the feel of the yarn is very similar, so I think it would look super nice like that or in that yarn as well. So this is another pattern that I finished since the last time I talked to you. So I decided to change my Colette t-shirt on me. You can see it here, and this is also something that I released in July. I think I showed this to you in my previous video. So this is something that I've been wearing a lot this summer. I really like this. Has like kind of like this very relaxed fit, and I made it using my favorite yarn, so that is Knitting for Olive's Pure Silk. I held that double. I used the colorway called Powder for this one. So that's very simple cables, very simple lace. So if you're a beginner with either or both of those textured stitches, I think this is something that you could still manage, and I think they make a really nice fabric, even though the pattern is quite what's the word, simple, minimalistic maybe. And I think in my previous episode I told you that I was planning to turn it into a sweater pattern as well, and that is actually happening at the moment. So here you can see my sweater version of this same pattern. It looks totally different than this, since this has been blocked and this one hasn't, but when it's blocked the pattern will open up in the same way as this one. For the t-shirt I made a short unfolded collar, as you can see, but for the sweater version I decided to make a bit, the collar is a bit longer, as you can see, and also I folded it double. So I'm now making the bottom ribbing. I couldn't find any of my longer 3mm needles, so I'm working this with like 40cm cable, so it's something that I usually use for hats, but it works. I can still fit all the stitches on this very short cable, but yeah, it's not something that I can easily take with me because the stitches fall off the needles quite easily, but if I'm only working on it at home, then it's quite fine. It's almost done, the bottom ribbing. I still need to have a couple of more rounds and then I will add sleeves. So this is going to have like full length sleeves. So this one has like this short t-shirt sleeves, so this is going to have longer sleeves, and I decided to add a bit of mohair to this, so it has a really nice halo and looks really fuzzy and soft and cozy for the winter. So this one has like the sheen of the silk, and also because of the silk yarn, the stitch definition, the stitches are very crisp, and this has softer appearance to it. And for this one I'm also using yarn from Knitting for Olive. Let's see where I have my my yarns. Had everything over here, but I think Luna came to sleep here next to me, so now I can't find my other yarn anymore. What's that? On the floor! I think Luna has dropped it on the floor. So here's Luna. She's the one that was rummaging around the cardboard box earlier in this episode, and she usually always joins me for all of my filming. So she's my constant companion on my YouTube channel. But anyway, so here's the yarns that I'm using. So it's knitting for Olive Merino and their soft silk mohair. And the colorways are, this one is called Cream and this one is a Marzipan. So it's really nice combination, I think. And looks like this. So I think I will have the sleeves done by next week, and then I can have the call for test knitters for this one as well. And since I've really enjoyed making the Colette pattern, I think it's still very simple, but there's like just enough things happening that it's still interesting. It's kind of like the same thing when you knit stripes. So working a whole sweater in stockinette stitch might be a bit boring because you don't really see any progress, but when you're working in stripes you only have to work until the end of the stripe, and then you can change color and you start another stripe. So it's kind of like, it feels faster to knit than just stockinette stitch, and I think it's the same with this one. So first you have a couple of rows, then you have the cable, then you have easy knitting until the next cable. You make the cable another few rows, then you have the lace section, which is really easy, and then the whole thing starts again. So I think it's really fun thing to knit. So I've been turning the pattern, if I can get it from under Luna, into a scarf as well. So I first started this one while I was in Berlin. So I had a little truck show in Berlin, and if I sit, I knit. So I needed to have something small and fairly simple to have with me when I was chatting with people and waiting for people to come to my booth and so on. So I decided to cast on for a little scarf. So this is the first version, and then I made a very small version, and I'm going to cast on a third one. I bought yarns for it from Copenhagen. So here you can see I bought KS yarn, organic soft merino and organic brushed alpaca. And I'm going to use these for a third scarf. So something not as small as this one, but not as large as this one. So a middle-sized Colette scarf. The colorway is called, let me see, Confident. It's a really beautiful yellow color. So I bought those from Copenhagen, and I'm really excited to use them. So instead of using silk mohair, so this is organic brushed alpaca, and it's really soft. I think I would say it's a lot softer than silk mohair. So that's something. Show you this. This is also, I bought the yarns also from Copenhagen when I visited Knitting for Olive's shop over there, and I casted this one on when we went to Tivoli in Copenhagen, and the queues were super long. So I had almost finished knitting the whole scarf while we were in the queue to the different amusement park rides in Tivoli. So this is my Copenhagen summer memory scarf. So this is the smallest version of the Colette scarf. As you can see, it has the same pattern, and then this is the larger one, and the yellow one is going to be something between these two sizes. So for this one I used Frida Fuchs yarn, here you can see, and this is a Steppke single, and this one is a Fiffi, and it's kid mohair and silk, and this one is Superwash Merino. I actually already bought this yarn 2 years ago, also in Berlin, from Yarn Over Berlin, and they've been waiting for the perfect project, so now I turned them into this little scarf, and I'm going to use the other skeins for a matching hat. So I'm still undecided whether I will make a robin hat or an iris hat with this color. This is actually my current color obsession, like this, like tangerine, orangey, reddish orange. And yeah, I forgot to mention the colorway name. So this is Feuerlilie. So Feuerlilie, in German it's like fire lilies. Yeah, so this is the Colette scarf, and I will be calling for the knitters for this one also, maybe already tomorrow. Let's see how it is. I have three more things I want to show you, and then I'm done for today. Again, if you have been following me for a longer time, you have seen this one as well. So this is something that I started already back in last November. I made like this collaboration project with a pet food company here in Finland called Alvar. They make like this conscious pet foods for dogs, and I designed a dog sweater and a beanie for humans for that campaign last autumn, and I really liked the dog sweater design that I made. So I decided to cast on for a human version of the same design. So this is the back of the sweater, and it has like this gansy pattern, so it's just knit and purl stitches that create this pattern. And I had made it so that I made it until the armholes on the back, and then started working on the front, but for some reason I don't like these two yarns together. So I don't like the mohair that I added to the yarn. I think the stitch pattern doesn't show as well as I wanted to, and then I left it to rest for me to figure out what I want to do. And after that, it was already getting towards spring, and I wanted to do summer things, so I left it on hold. And now that I took it back on, I started to look at it, I realized that I don't like the yarns that I'm using for it. So I decided to restart the whole project with a different yarn. So here you can see the pattern so much better this time on this one. So this is the back, and a lot more happier with it this time around. So this is something that I'm reworking on, and I'll just show you the yarn. It's here behind me. So it's called Le Chat Qui Tricot. My French pronunciation is horrible, I'm sorry for that. So this is the Salem base, and it's 60% merino, 20% yak and 20% silk. DK weight yarn, and this is the natural undyed colorway. So this is what I'm using. It's super super soft. I wish you could touch it through the screen. So one of the softest yarns that I've worked in a long time, and I think this has a really good stitch definition. As you can see, all the patterns show really well over here, and I really like the little sheen that the silk content brings to this fabric. But yeah, sometimes you just kind of like have to start again, and that's something that I have learned, that if I don't like feel really happy making something, then it's better to just rip it back and start it again, or use the yarn for something else, rather than trying to push through something that I don't really feel. And in my previous video I also told you that I wanted to make one more summer pattern, and this is also still unblocked, but this is coming also for test knitting very soon. So this is my little sunset clutch, and I used Sandnes Garn Tück cleaner for this one. I don't remember the number of the colorway, but I will write that below this video as well. So I wanted to make like a matching clutch for my sunset camisole, and this is what I made. So it has a zipper here on the top, and I made this kind of like double fabric for the front, so the zipper doesn't show on the inside, and also it makes the top a bit sturdier, so it kind of holds its form a bit better. But yeah, it's super simple, really easy. Been super happy about this one. I might want to add some kind of what's that called? I think I'm losing all my words at the moment. Not handle, but the thing that you put on your shoulder. But yeah, might add that as well, but still not sure. But this is the sunset clutch that I was talking about in my previous video, and I'm going to make it in another yarn. I want to have more like a natural, kind of like raffia feeling to it, so still looking for the perfect yarn for a second one. But this was super quick. I made it in one day, so really fun. And if you need like a quick project like a palette cleanser, then this is the perfect for that. The last thing that I want to show you, this is something that I have already showed you earlier, but the same thing happened to this as with the Alvar pullover. I was working on this last winter, then spring came, summer knits came, all the woolen thick things stopped inspiring me, and I'm only now getting back to them. So I didn't knit this myself. I had my sample knitter make this one for me, but I'm now working on the bottom pants because I wanted to make those myself to see how they look like. And this is the Billy cardigan. So I made a Billy pullover a few years ago, and ever since that I've been kind of like dreaming about the cardigan version of it. So now it's finally happening. I just have to finish making the bottom bands, and then I can call for test knitters for this one as well. So I'm hoping that this is also unblocked, so hoping to call for test knitters for this one also next week. So a lot of test knits coming. I have like this weird moment at the moment that I don't actually have anything currently being test knitted, which is really weird. It doesn't really happen often. I usually always have something that is being test knitted, but that's because I have been on holiday, so I haven't been writing patterns, and I have a huge pile of everything that I should write and get to test knitting and so on. But yeah, that's everything I had for today. I have so many ideas that I want to make this autumn, and a lot of different patterns, a couple of cardigans, a few sweaters. Ever since I finished knitting the Kuutar wrap cardigan, I kind of like want to make another wrap cardigan because it turned out so nice that I want to make another one. And also I kind of, even though I said that I'm a summer person, I don't want for autumn to come, but it's coming, and it's kind of like inspiring me to make more autumn knits as well. But yeah, that's everything I had for today. I hope you have enjoyed watching this video, and if you like my videos, remember to subscribe to my channel so you will always get a notification when I put out a new video. And also remember the YouTube special code for Vivienne tea. So if you use code Vivienne, then you get the Vivienne tea pattern with a 25% discount. But that's everything for today. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon. Bye!